Good afternoon, everyone. This is Brad Matheny. Well, it's afternoon for you guys on the East. Still morning out here in California. This is a quick little update. We had a top resistance pattern today in trending mode. And if you remember from my morning video, I drew these nice yellow lines right here, indicating what I thought was going to be the most likely outcome, warning you that we may not see that top resistance pattern set up because the volatility has been so extensive. We've had a big, beautiful rally. I called about this Vortex Rally about a week ago, indicating that I thought we'd see a nice solid move up. Then we had the Bank of Japan issue, prompting this deep low. We're getting a very solid recovery right now. And I mentioned that we would likely come up, try to fill this gap, which we did this morning. S&P is up almost 2%, up, let's see, 10 points. So from 19 to 27. So yeah, almost $10. A nice big move here. I warned that we would likely stall, maybe roll down a little bit this afternoon. But let's take a look at this on a 30-minute basis and really try to understand where we're at with this trend. Okay, so we have now come up just under this level here. We're literally just under that low, that gapping low. And here's the fifth, here's the sixth. We're very likely going to try to move up at least into filling this low area, 528.65, let's call it. But then we're probably going to move into some extended sideways downward trending at this point. I think that we've probably reached our limit maybe for today, maybe up into this 530, 531 area. But as I indicated this morning, we're getting a very good solid rally, and we may find a top up here, 529, 530, 531, and roll back downward towards the end of the day, which would be right over in this area. So be aware that that topping pattern could still show up and could still become an issue. Now, we do have, let's take a look at the cycle patterns. So we do have a flat down tomorrow in trend mode, a Harami inside bar in carryover mode, then an inside breakaway. Okay, tough to read with volatility still as high as it is. But I'm going to tell you right now that the flat down and Harami inside day gives me an idea that the next couple of days might be fairly quiet as far as price characteristic. And then we move into this inside breakaway. Then you can see on the weekend we have a counter trend rally, which is a counter trend momentum rally. And this is a gap up lower, meaning it moves higher and then gaps down, gaps up and then moves downward. Then we get a gap breakaway in trending mode, then a breakaway, then a rally in carryover mode, then a carryover in counter trend mode, and then an inside breakaway. Next week, the 12th through the 16th, looks much more explosive than the rest of this week. I will say that this inside breakaway pattern on Friday could be a big mover, but I think the next 2 days are going to be fairly flat. So be aware. I think the next 2 days are going to be fairly flat. So here we are with this trending. We're moving into upward trending. I think we're kind of nearing a top over here. I know I draw continuously on these charts, but really we're looking at a top kind of up in this area. And I'll make that a red color and give you an idea that I think we're probably near the end of the rally phase today. Maybe we're at 527 roughly, maybe 530, maybe 529. But I don't think we're going to really see a big squeeze up into this 534, 535 area, which is the next area. The next area we've got to get into is this 535 to 542 area to fill this gap right here. And until we get there, which will probably be maybe Friday, maybe next week, we are going to be consolidating and trying to move higher. So now we come over here, back to daily. You can see how we're setting up here. We are getting a beautiful deep V. Whoops, I always do this. I left myself in draw mode. We are getting a big, beautiful deep V rally setting up right now. So understand, we could see this melt a little upward into Friday, maybe next week, then rallying up into this area into next week. So kind of maybe 2 days, kind of like this, and then maybe a rally, and then melting, and then maybe a rally, and then melting, and then up into the vortex. Okay, so it's going to look fairly strong. It's going to look like a deep V rolling type of a move. And it is a deep V bottom. But I think we've got at least 4 or 5 more days of trying to clear out the clutter, meaning by Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, I think we're going to be clearly trying to move above this area and roll higher. So be aware that I think that's a very solid move into next week. What we really need to do is clear this area back up into 534, 535. That's going to be a very big move, and it's going to be a good sign for the markets in general. Now, gold, just so you know, because everybody's asking about gold, let's come over here. Gold is doing just like I predicted. We had reached this upper level. We had rolled into the flagging formation, which is here. You can see this purple line and this purple line. Now we've come back down below the flagging area. We're into deep lows here. I suspect that we're going to see gold attempt to make a move. Just so you know, guys, it's going to try to recover. So we're going to find support here. It's going to try to make a move back into this area, stall, and then rally. So I would expect gold is going to move from 24.30 up to 24.65, 24.70. And I think we're going to see it then build a base and then rally up into the 25.50, maybe $2,600 area over the next probably 30, 35 days. Let's go off to Bitcoin. Bitcoin, very deep move. Here we go. Right back down to that support area. Actually, well below that support area. Getting nice solid bounce. This is good solid rejection. We will more than likely at this point see Bitcoin move back into this consolidation range and settling up before we move higher. Where did my line go? There we go. So this is a very big outlier, which changes the shape really of our flag. So you can see how we have this big broad flag setting up here. We would now be looking more at a downward sloping flag, possibly something across like this, and more of a channel, something across like this. Try to, well, I'll just duplicate this. So you can see that move now. There's our channel. And if I still do the math, A, B, C, D, and then rallying back up. So we would basically have this same setup. We would have an A, B, C, D, and trying to rally back out over here into a big rally phase. The difference between this type of a flag, an apex type of a flag, and a channeling type of a flag is that we may end up with some sort of a consolidation range, meaning that, so these are all the lines that I've drawn before, try to get rid of some of them. Well, I got lots of lines in here, don't I, guys? Okay, so the difference here between this channeling flag is that as I drew here, we could end up back into this mode and setting up a minor little apex flag on this channel. So understand that this is A, B, C, D, E apex flag potentially setting up within this channel. So there's a good chance we could be moving basically from this channel low down here back into this apexing flag right here, and potentially setting up a new apex, a minor little apex here. Okay, and that would basically complete this whole move. This is this rotation here. This is consolidation near the flag apex. And remember, the flag apex is right here. And you'll be able to see consolidation, rejection, breakdown. You'll find that this flag apex level has probably been very key support, resistance, rejection over many, many weeks. This is what happens with an apex is they typically end up being very solid support and resistance that we just maybe missed. Like you see this rejection here, this rejection here, this rejection here, this rejection here, doji right here, and I could probably go all the way back here, find 2 or 3 more. But that apex is going to become very important in my opinion, and I think we're just going to have to wait and see how this plays out. So at this point, we're pretty good. We're looking pretty solid, and I'll go back to the SPY real quick. Yeah, we're pulling back off of that high a little. We're up a little more than when I showed you earlier, but remember, be aware that we're probably going to see a little bit of rotation here into the end of the day and through Wednesday and Thursday. More than likely, Wednesday and Thursday are going to stay fairly tight between 535, 536, and possibly down here into the 522 area. So be aware that the next couple of days look like the markets are going to struggle a bit. Okay.